Right now at 4, Decision 2026, and we could be just moments away from LA County calling the race for LA Mayor. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Annabelle Sedano.
I'm Jonathan Gonzalez. Michael and Colleen are off today. Here's where things stand right now. Mayor Karen Bass is still on top at this hour, but this weekend, Nithya Raman overtook Spencer Pratt, moving into that second position. But within the next hour, officials are expected to post today's updated ballot count, and that could be enough to call the race.
And this is where it all happens. Take a look. Here's a live look inside the vote processing center in the City of Industry. It's a painstaking process that's taken nearly a week and still not even over. And that's what's driving critics, including President Trump, crying foul.
Do you think it's appropriate that they have an election and 5 days later they're nowhere close to picking a winner?
State and local officials acknowledge they are slow. They're urging.
No, they're crooked.
That's President Trump this weekend on NBC's Meet the Press, and soon after that, he ended the interview. Today, we talked to LA County Registrar Dean Logan for his response and why it takes so long.
Quite frankly, for us, those are distractions, and we're not going to be distracted by that. We know that the process here is in compliance with our election laws in California. We know that we're doing everything we can to make sure that every valid cast ballot that was timely received is included in the final results. Unfortunately, we're dealing in a political environment where when you don't like the outcome of the election, the game plan is to attack the process. We can't let that affect the way we do our work. Unfortunately, it is affecting how the public feels about the elections process, and I think that's unfortunate.
NBC4's Karma Dickerson joining us live now from that vote center with more reaction from the candidates today. Karma.
Yes, the counting question is happening over my shoulder as we speak. As you mentioned, we are expecting some new numbers shortly, but we know that this is a race that has been turbulent. It's been a nail biter. And with the pending release of those new numbers currently, there's less than 1 percentage point that separate Nithya Raman from Spencer Pratt.
In a race that's been marked by the unexpected, another twist as votes for LA Mayor continue to be counted. Candidate Nithya Raman has moved into second place, overtaking Spencer Pratt by about 3,100 votes and trailing incumbent Mayor Karen Bass by about 55,000. Though polling going into the election showed Raman coming in just behind Mayor Bass, the initial election return showed Raman in third place. However, with each vote update, she's narrowed the gap. Raman today releasing a statement saying, "We are encouraged by the latest vote count and remain grateful to the thousands of Angelenos who have powered this campaign." Spencer Pratt posting to X, "Folks, we're dealing with a fraction of a percentage point difference. There's still hundreds of thousands of votes outstanding, and LA officials have given us the next 3 weeks to count." This afternoon, there were 368,000 votes outstanding, according to the LA County Registrar Recorder Dean Logan. It's unclear how many of those votes are for the city of LA specifically. Ballots that were mailed or dropped off as opposed to cast in person require a specific and more extensive verification process.
Late Tuesday night, we had 500,000 ballots that descended upon us that have to go through that process. We need to be able to account for those, and we need to be sure that those votes are counted correctly.
Look at what's happening in California.
To that?
It's
the
4
Republicans
days.
are doing well in
California. No, they're not. They're dropping fast because it's a rigged election. Let me tell you, it's 4 days, and they aren't even close to coming up with.
That's how they count.
You know
the
why
votes
they're
in
doing that?
California.
Because they're cheating on the election.
Do you have evidence to support
all
that?
I have to do is look.
That was President Trump yesterday before he walked out of an interview with Meet the Press. He provided no evidence of wrongdoing in California's elections. However, some conservatives are criticizing the amount of time it takes to count votes in California.
Well, I just have to tell you that is a regular accusation that is made when one is losing. We have heard that accusation before.
Does our process in California need to speed up?
California's process needs to be accurate.
And that vote count continues. Actually, over my shoulder, you can see people that are doing the extraction process. It basically means they're taking the ballots out of the envelope that you signed if you dropped it off or if you mailed it in. So just one step to getting those ballots tabulated. Reporting live, I'm Karma Dickerson, NBC4 News.
Karma, thank you. Now, in the governor's race, Republican Steve Hilton is still maintaining his hold on the second spot, right behind Democrat Javier Becerra. Tom Steyer remains in third.
And we are expecting another ballot count drop. When that happens, we will, of course, give you those numbers live. Coming up on our next half hour, Conan Nolan will join us to talk about the new developments. Meantime, you can track the election results with the NBCLA app or on our website, NBCLA.com.